Okay, you've probably seen this thing online. It's that weird, dark blob that moves all by itself, looking like something straight out of a movie. Well, it went totally viral. But today, we're going to get into the incredible science behind it and how this little curiosity is becoming a huge medical game changer. You know, when the first videos of this thing dropped, this quote pretty much nailed the reaction from, well, everyone. It was bizarre, it was amazing, and yeah, let's be honest, it was a little bit creepy. It literally felt like science fiction was happening right in front of our eyes.
So this first version of the robot, we'll call it MSRI, was an absolute internet sensation. But once you get past the mesmerizing videos, what actually was it? What could it do that made everyone so excited?
Well, the design team, led by Professor Li Zhang, they weren't trying to hide their influences at all. They came right out and said it. They were inspired by the shape-shifting alien symbiote Venom. Their goal was to build a real-life soft robot that could move and adapt just like it. Pretty ambitious, right?
And what it could do was just wow. The MSRI could squeeze itself through tiny little channels just 1.5 millimeters wide. It could wrap itself around stuff to pick it up, and it could even heal itself if you cut it. And the craziest part, it was all controlled remotely with magnets.
So how in the world does it do all that? Well, the secret sauce is that it's a non-Newtonian fluid. And that might sound complicated, but you've probably played with this stuff before. If you've ever mixed cornstarch and water, you know what I'm talking about. This property lets it flow like a liquid to get through tight spots, but then instantly turns solid to grab onto something.
It was an absolutely brilliant proof of concept, no doubt about it. But for all the cool things it could do, the MSRI had one giant, fundamental problem hiding behind all the hype. A flaw that basically made it a dead end for any kind of real-world use.
And that flaw all comes down to this one simple but crucial question. If you're going to use this thing in medicine or industry, what do you do with it when the job is done? How do you get rid of it?
And this chart really lays the problem bare. The first robot was made with something called a static covalent network. Now, in simple terms, just think of its chemical bonds as being set with superglue. They are permanent, and that meant you couldn't recycle it at all. It was a one-and-done piece of tech that would just become trash.
So, at the end of the day, if this technology was ever going to have a real future, they had to solve this. I mean, you can't build the future of medicine on throwaway tech. It just doesn't work.
Okay, so this brings us to Generation 2, the MSR2. And this is where the real breakthrough happened. The team shifted their focus from just the robot's cool shapes to the actual molecules it was made from. The game changer is a material called a dynamic covalent polyamine. I know, it's a mouthful, but the key word to remember is dynamic. It means the chemical bonds are totally reversible. The best way to think about it is like a molecular zipper. You can completely unzip the material back down to its original building blocks and then just zip it right back up again to make a brand new robot. And get this, 100%. When they recycle the MSR2, the new material isn't weaker, it's not a cheap copy, it has 100% of its original strength, its original flexibility. And for anything you're going to put inside a human body, that kind of consistency and quality is absolutely everything.
Oh, and on top of being totally recyclable, it's a way better self-healer. If the robot gets damaged inside the body, maybe it runs into something sharp, it can repair itself in under 5 minutes, just at room temperature. That is a massive, massive safety feature. So, you've got this new super material. What can you actually do with it? Well, this upgrade unlocked a whole new world of missions, things the first robot could never, ever have pulled off. The leap in what it could do was just huge. The mission went from, brute force stuff, like grabbing a swallowed battery, to incredibly delicate, precise work. Now it could navigate to a tumor and deliver a powerful drug right where it needs to go without harming any of the healthy tissue around it. Now, to pull off that level of precision, you need a serious control upgrade. The MSR2 uses something called a hybrid magnetic actuation system. Basically, it combines the brute strength of big, permanent magnets with the super fine-tuned control of electromagnetic coils. This gives the operators incredible 3D control to navigate through the body and get the robot exactly where it needs to be. All right, let's zoom out for a minute because this story is so much bigger than just one squishy robot. This really points to a fundamental change in how we think about high-tech materials. This whole new philosophy is called a cyclic material economy.
And what that really means is removing away from the whole use it once, then throw it away model to something circular. We're starting to design high-tech stuff with its entire life cycle in mind, making sure that it never really becomes waste.
And think about what that could mean. Safer medical devices that can actually fix themselves if they break. Way less e-waste from all our gadgets and robots. It opens the door to a whole new class of materials that can be reused and remade over and over again. It's a real pathway to building technology that's actually sustainable. And that leaves us with a really powerful thought. For so long, technology that could heal itself felt like pure science fiction. This robot proves that it's not only possible, it's practical. So the real question now isn't if we can build a world where our technology lasts, it's what are we going to choose to build first?